republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Yep. We're gonna just let Mr. Corbin get back to his seat. Corbin? Rieger?
Here.
Vosberg?
Here.
Wick?
Here.
Jones?
Here.
Walrod?
Here.
Kruger?
Here.
Carville?
Here.
Samsel?
Here.
Dury?
Here.
Reuter?
Here.
Cunningham?
Here.
Stokes?
Here.
Stepanski is absent. Davio? I swear I can say your name, Tom. Kavanaugh? Here. Roberts is absent. Kinville? Here. And Henderson is absent. You have 1,337 votes present.
Okay, thanks everybody for coming today. Just want to say something about our 250th anniversary. This flag's flown for 250 years, a symbol of liberty, equal rights, and freedom for all, the pursuit of happiness. It does not represent one party. It does not represent one person. It does not represent one religion or one race. It represents all of us. May this flag fly proudly for many years to come. And with that to follow, Deanna Matt will, from our Public Health Department, will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. Okay, Matt Ertz. Special presentation from Matt today on our history.
Thank you. So prior to the American Revolution, this was all part of what was referred to as Tryon County. Following the American Revolution, it was changed to Montgomery County, and I'm not going to get into all the breakdowns, but we're going to talk a little bit about the role that what is now Madison County, the people of, and the land played in the war in the American Revolution. So we'll start with the Battle of Oriskany, and I have to give a little bit of context as I do this. So August 6, 1777, Nicholas Herkimer and his troops started the march to Fort Schuyler, what we refer to today as Fort Stanwix, from near the Oneida village of Oriska in present-day Oriskany. Because of the time of year, the foliage was thick, making it difficult to see far outside of the road they were marching on. As Herkimer's troops came closer to the fort, they had to cut through a ravine about 6 miles away from what is now Fort Stanwix. Because of the terrain and with a tired army, the line started to stretch, which would become important. Around 10 a.m., as the first group of soldiers were making their way up and out of the ravine, the first shots of the Battle of Oriskany were fired. The colonial army had been ambushed. The key to this is because they were stretched, they were not able to close the loop, and some of the soldiers were able to escape. Because the colonial army was stretched, the attack started slightly prematurely. Still, Herkimer's troops were completely surprised, and several dozen soldiers were killed in the first volley. Upon hearing the opening shots, Herkimer went back into the ravine. He was struck by a musket ball in his leg that shattered his tibia and killed his horse. Soldiers carried him to the western edge of the ravine to direct the fightings. There, 2 members of the United Nations were assigned to stand guard over Herkimer. He would die 10 days later from his wounds. Those soldiers that were still behind the fighting fled. Those trapped were either killed or ran into the woods. Some estimates that say between the soldiers that ran and casualties, more than half of the 800 soldiers were not fighting after the first 30 minutes of this battle. The fighting continued for 3 hours until a large thunderstorm started, which slowed fighting and allowed the Continental soldiers an opportunity to regroup. The story goes that the reason it slowed down so much is it's hard to shoot with wet gunpowder. Known members of the United Nations took part in this battle included, I'm just going to do first names because otherwise I'd butcher them, Black Cop, who broke his arm in hand-to-hand combat, Han Yeri, his wife Sarah, their son Cornelius Dockstader, all fought together. All 3 fired weapons at different times. Han Yeri was shot in the wrist. His wife then took over loading his weapon so he could continue fighting continuously. It is believed that more than 30 members of the United Nations were killed in the Battle of Oriskany. The battle was considered a battlefield victory for the British, but while the British were fighting, Lieutenant Colonel Marius Willett led 250 soldiers out of Fort Stanwix and raided the nearby British camp. The fact that the British were not able to advance and rout the Americans along with the American raid during the battle damaged the morale of pro-British Indians who left the British Army. The British Army gave up the siege on Fort Stanwix on August 22nd. Less than a month later, the Battle of Saratoga started, which is, of course, the turning point of the American Revolution. Valley Forge. In late April, early May of 1778, 47 Oneida Nation warriors traveled from their home in central New York to Valley Forge with a gift of surplus white corn. Among the warriors was a lone woman, Oneida woman named Polly Cooper. Little is known about her life, but according to Oneida lore, she played a role in feeding the starving people at Valley Forge. White corn is not like our corn on the cob today. It has to be prepared before it can be eaten. Cooper took the time to teach the soldiers and their families how to properly prepare it and make a hulled corn soup. The corn would be ground into cornmeal, mixed with water and boiled. If possible, they could add seasonal fruits and nuts to add nutrition. While it was a small amount of food in comparison to what was needed to feed the thousands of people that were there, it was seen as a great gesture by the Oneida Indian Nation. While Cooper was working to help feed the troops and families, some Oneida warriors participated in scouting missions under the Marquis de Lafayette. On May 20th, many of these warriors were with Lafayette during the Battle of Barren Hill. This was a small battle that was near disastrous when the British Army nearly surrounded 2,200 plus colonial soldiers who barely escaped. Oneida warriors took part in an ambush on the British. Lafayette described the scene in his memoirs, saying, "The war cries on one side and the appearance of the cavalry on the other surprised both parties so much they fled equally with speed." A French soldier named Toussard, who fought along with the warriors, described their fighting prowess before the President of Congress and spoke of the fact that Oneida warriors helped save him when he was knocked down from his horse. While official Continental records do not include reports of the Oneida warriors, British reports state that 2 Oneida warriors were captured in battle. A plaque at St. Peter's Cemetery in Barren Hill, Pennsylvania, memorializes 6 Indian scouts who died in the battle in May of 1788. Prominent Oneida patriot Thomas Senavis was among those killed that day, and he is believed to be buried in that cemetery. Earlier this year, the United States Mint released a $1 coin memorializing Polly Cooper. The coin highlights Cooper in the nation's efforts to bring food and supplies from upstate New York to the Continental Army in Valley Forge. Oneida Chief Shenandoah and Cooper, along with George Washington, are also memorialized at the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C., in the bronze sculpture, Allies in War, Partners in Peace. The last thing I'm going to talk about is what's referred to as the Turtle Tree Incident, which has an interesting story. The Turtle Tree Incident is rooted in facts that may have been slightly altered over the years. However, it is almost certainly one of the few Revolutionary War events that took place within the borders of what is today Madison County. In 1930, a historic marker was placed alongside Kirkville-Bridgeport Road, just north of Peck Road, highlighting this event. In 1980, then Town of Sullivan historian published a pamphlet on the history of the marker and the captured soldiers. Houck extensively researched the event, compiling a partial list of colonial soldiers, telling the story of the marker and some of what happened after the war. The marker states, west of the point on the banks of Chittenango Creek were a stockaded fort, 1756, built by Sir William Johnson for the protection of the Tuscaroras, one of the Six Nations or Iroquois in alliance with British against the French in Canada. Landing place 1780 of Sir John Johnson with 800 soldiers, British Tories, and Indians from Canada on his raid against the Schoharie and Mohawk valleys. The boat and cannon were partly destroyed by Captain Walter Vrooman and 50 men from Fort Stanwix, but the American command was captured by the returning British, and several were tortured to death at Turtle Tree, October 23, 1790. Almost every primary source references that the ships were on Onondaga Lake, sometimes referred to as Salt Lake, which means that the location of the marker was not the landing place of Sir John Johnson and his men. It does appear the men were captured in the area of Canaseraga in the town of Sullivan. Based on the description of the soldiers, where the marker is located is not likely where that action happened. Additionally, the total colonial soldiers that took part in the expedition was probably closer to 60. To give a little more context, in the fall of 1780, Sir John Johnson and Joseph Brant led some 800 soldiers and indigenous warriors through the Mohawk and Schoharie valleys with the express goal of destroying food sources, barns, and livestock. The thought process was that if they could destroy the food sources, the colonial army would be crippled. As the British Army made its way in a large circle, which you can kind of see on this map here, an order was given that Vrooman, who was stationed at Fort Stanwix, was to take the said 50 to 60 men and disable the boats, destroy the supplies of the said army. The soldiers left heading west and were able to capture a small group of soldiers who were responsible for guarding the boats and supplies, likely at Onondaga Lake. They then started to return east back to the fort and camped for the night. While eating dinner, Vrooman and his men were captured by the returning army of Sir John Johnson. Accounts vary on how many, but it appears 2 to 4 colonial soldiers were killed, 2 were able to escape, and the remainder were taken to prison in Canada for an extended period, anywhere from 1 to 4 years. I'm going to read quickly just an account of one of the soldiers from his pension where he talks about what happened. He couldn't write, so this is someone who's writing his account for him. He thinks the latter part of the month of October 1780 that the said Thomas Lodowick was detached with about 60 privates to go on an expedition to get some provisions belonging to the British not far from Seneca River. Then he went on said expedition under the command of Captain Vrooman, Lieutenant Phelps, and Ensign Acker. That he thinks there were 62 besides the commissioned officers to wit, Vrooman, Phelps, and Acker. That they marched 3 days from said fort and arrived near the Salt Lake in Onondaga County, state of New York, on the 3rd day after they left the said Fort Stanwix towards night. The said Thomas and all others were taken prisoners by a party of British Tories and Indians, about 600 in number. 2 of the said party escaped and were not taken prisoner. The said Lieutenants Phelps, Silas Knapp, and 2 other privates were killed. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Rich history. Okay, are there any corrections to the June 9th meeting minutes? Not going to have a motion to pass those minutes. Greg and Dana, All in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, we have a public hearing on the review of Agricultural District 1C. Scott, would you like to come up and inform us of how that works?
Thanks. This is part of the process that Madison County undertakes every 8 years for agricultural districts. We have 4 districts in Madison County, and this district covers a number of towns, Cazenovia, DeRuyter, Eaton, Madison, and Nelson. And so we send out a survey to all the landowners in the district. We get responses, catalog those, and then go through a process of renewing the district. In some cases, there are properties removed. Some cases, there are properties added. But ultimately, this all goes submitted to New York State to renew our district, and then we'll undertake the same process for this district again in 8 years. So we have it set on a cycle that we do one of these every 2 years. So in 2 years, I'll be back talking about a different district.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing? Joe and TJ? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Public hearing's open. Does anyone like to speak for or against District 1C? Hearing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing? Rex and Mary, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right. Scott, you want to talk about the second one? Or?
Sure. Very similar to that process, outside of the 8-year window for having property added to a district, the state created the opportunity to do it once a year. And so in Madison County, it's the month of October. That's kind of a long way away from now, but we waited to try to do both of these at the same time to submit to the state. So usually we do this a bit earlier in the year, but that opens the door up to anybody to submit an application. It gets reviewed by the Ag and Farmland Protection Board, and then here to the Planning Committee, and ultimately Board of Supervisors. This year there was one landowner in the town of Sullivan that requested to have some properties added. They're all part of an operating dairy, and so that's what this resolution and public hearing pertains to.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Can I have a motion to open? This is District 3 public hearing. Kyle and John, or John, yeah. Dave, sorry, John, Dave. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, anyone here to speak for or against District 3C? Hearing none, motion to close the hearing. Rex and Lauren, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. We are closed. Okay. Next, we have public comments on today's agenda. Is there anyone signed in for today's on the agenda items? No? Okay. All right. Proclamation. Awareness.
Christina Kennedy, could you come up, please? Hand that to her. Pretty please.
All right, good morning. July is Disabilities Awareness Month, and this year marks the 36th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Madison County is proud to stand with local organizations in creating a more accessible and inclusive community for all residents. This proclamation recognizes the progress that has been made, the important contributions of individuals with disabilities, and the work that remains to be completed so everyone can fully access programs and services. It also reaffirms Madison County's commitment to continuing that work. So I just want to say thank you to the chairman and the board for recognizing July 2026 as Disabilities Awareness Month.
Great. Thank you, Christine. Okay, resolutions of appreciation.
Yep, we're going to start with a resolution of appreciation, retiree recognition. This is Pete Walrod, Chairman GOC.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Can I have a second? Megan? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay.
Yep, this morning we are recognizing Captain Sean Burbage out of the Sheriff's Office for his 19 years of service. Would you like to step forward, and under Sheriff, would you like to present him with his gift, please?
Excuse our backs.
That's okay.
I've only been here about a year and a half, but this guy here has helped me along the way. Sean started about 20 years ago. Patrol, CID, narcotics, K-9, SWAT. He's done everything at the highest degree of professionalism. And what an example for everybody else coming up through our agency. If they're just going to be a deputy their whole career, he set a great example. I wish him luck. He's going to have fun now being a cop again. He's going to work narcotics with the state. And I'm a little jealous of that because that was always my love, working on the streets. But congratulations.
I just want to say thanks to everyone, and it's truly been an honor to work for Madison County, and to work in all those different units for a smaller agency is quite an accomplishment in and of itself. And I couldn't have done it with everyone, without everyone here. Law enforcement's truly a team effort, and I had a great team for 20 years, and I look forward to moving on to a new career and perhaps seeing where that will take me to. So thank you all for being here and recognizing me. So.
All right, next we're going to recognize Phyllis Sweeten for her 12 years of service in the county clerk's office. If our county clerk, Mike Kevel, could step forward to accept a gift on her behalf, that would be great.
Phyllis worked for us for 12 years. She was hired by my predecessor, and her hallmark was great customer service. She had a lot of compassion for folks who came into the office to file their own divorces without an attorney, trying to navigate and figure out what they needed to do. She would take quite a bit of time. A lot of the clerks would just kind of be like, well, if you don't know what you're doing, get out. Or, we'll take it if it's ready, but this isn't ready. You got to fix that. See you later. And she would really take time with customers and really show compassion as they're going through those difficult things. And that's one of the things about the clerk's office, that we do that kind of work for folks. So she will be missed. She did a great job for 12 years, and we actually moved her. She was the sole survivor from the clerks that were there when I took office 9 years ago. And that meant that she had to carry a lot of the weight as we brought in new folks who were learning the ropes of what happens in a clerk's office. And she did a good job mentoring them and bringing them through. So thank you to the board.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, moving on to the preferred agenda.
Yep, we're going to start with our Government Operations Committee resolutions. This is the number 2 through 8 in your packet. This is Chairman Pete Walrod for GOC Committee.
Yeah, we had just had one highlight this month. We had the birth announcement of Nathan Todd Burden. I don't know if Rob's here today. 8 pounds, 8 ounces, pretty excited about that. I know the committee, it was a consensus of the committee that, we chose a name. We chose Isaac Todd. We chose Isaac Todd. We thought that his initials, IT Burden, would really work well. But Rob didn't go with it. So, but as far as our resolutions, we've got the standard workday reporting. That's after following every election. Hopefully it won't be every year. Amending, we've got couple policy changes and 2 full-time and 1 part-time positions being created. And I would move these resolutions for adoption.
Can I have a second? Megan? Oh, roll call, please.
Almost.
Almost.
Carvel?
Yes.
Samsel?
Aye.
During?
Aye.
Reuter? Cunningham?
Aye.
Stokes? Davio? Kavanaugh. Kinville. Corbin. Rieger.
Aye.
Vosberg.
Yes.
Wicks.
Yes.
Jones. Walrod.
Aye.
Kruger.
Yes.
1,337 votes in favor. Resolutions pass. Next, we'll jump into our Finance, Ways, and Means Committee resolutions. These are number 9 through 12 in your packet. This is Kyle Rieger, Chairman, Finance, Ways, and Means Committee.
Thank you very much. We had an excellent committee meeting, great reports from our treasurer, director of finance, and the county clerk. And a couple of quick highlights before the resolutions. I met with our treasurer this morning, and after the 13th of the last sales tax distribution report that we can report year to date over last year, we're up 3.7%, which is extraordinary. And this the second quarter of this year was approximately 11,958,000, which is a new record for the highest quarter of that sales tax receipts so far. So that's great news. We have resolutions that I just wanted to bring forward. Resolution number 9 is for the village taxes that were open for Reisman and Siggety Halls. The town assessor in Casanova has since changed those properties to roll Section 8, so this will be the last tax bill for those properties. Resolution number 10, this is a modification for postage for the treasurer's office for $10,000 that will be transferred from the bank rec account to cover the rising need for additional first class and certified mailings from the office. And resolution number 11, the WOW committee was eligible for a perma grant that is in the general fund. WOW line is an expense line, and this is creating a revenue line so the WOW committee can use the $400 funds. Resolution number 12 is the Highway Department. This is good news. It received additional state aid than was to be expected for the Highway Department. And so working with this year's budget and Cindy's office, they were able to make some modifications with what was already existing in this budget. And this will allow them to acquire a sewer vac truck that was deemed necessary. This was actually part of the request for this year's budget that was taken out as we were working through last year's budget. And this is great because it's all covered by state aid, and it will not need to have that expense included in this upcoming year's budget. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Thank you. Can I have a second? Mr. Jones? Roll call, please. And I'm very excited about the sewer vac machine.
So's Joe.
So is Joe.
Samsel.
Aye.
During.
Aye.
Reuter. Cunningham.
Aye.
Stokes. Davio. Kavanaugh. Kinville. Corbin. Rieger.
Aye.
Vosberg.
Yes.
Wicks.
Yes.
Jones. Walrod.
Aye.
Kruger.
Yes.
Carvel.
Yes.
1,337 votes in favor. Resolutions pass. Next, we'll go into our Planning Committee resolutions. These are number 13 through 17 in your packet today. This is Joe Wicks, Chairman, Planning Committee.
Thank you. So as you can see, 13 and 14 are adopting the agricultural land certifications, like Scott presented earlier for the public hearings. 15 is calling for another public hearing for CDBG funds for Pewter Spoon Cafe in Casanova. 16, economic development loan for a business in Hamilton. And 17, amending the agreement between Madison County and Empire Long Distance Corp. For the Connect project. Any questions? Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for adoption.
Thank you. Can I have a second? Dana? Roll call, please.
Yep. During.
Aye.
Reuter. Cunningham.
Aye.
Stokes. Davio. Kavanaugh. Kinville. Corbin. Rieger.
Aye.
Vosberg.
Yes.
Wicks.
Yes.
Jones.
Aye.
Walrod.
Aye.
Kruger.
Yes.
Carvel.
Yes.
Samson.
Aye.
1,337 votes in favor. Resolutions pass. Next, we'll do our Highway Buildings and Grounds Committee preferred agenda. This is number 18 through 23 in your packet. Committee Chairman Corbin, would you like to speak, please?
Yes, thank you. We had a total of 6 resolutions. 3 of them pertain to the public health HVAC project. We had a surplus county property resolution, and we had an agreement with Barton and LaJudas for the Southville Road Bridge not to exceed $30,000, and extend an agreement with Divergrate Alliance Corporation pertaining to the broadband project. Any questions? Mr. Chairman, I move these resolutions for
second?
adoption.
Tom? Roll call, please.
Reuter. Cunningham.
Yes.
Stokes. Davio. Kavanaugh. Kinville. Corbin.
Yes.
Rieger.
Aye.
Bosberg.
Yes.
Wicks.
Yes.
Jones. Walrod.
Aye.
Kruger.
Yes.
Carvel.
Yes.
Samsel.
Aye.
During.
Aye.
1,337 votes in favor. Resolutions pass.
Okay, committee chair updates, criminal justice, Rex?
Kind of a quiet month for our committee. I think there's 2 resolutions in here, but besides that, just department updates.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Health and Human Services, Mary?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Starting off, we have our housing needs assessment project kicked off, and that study is to be completed in the fall. We have 2 resolutions today. The first one is extending the agreement with Bernie Bus Services for transportation. It's a contract renewal extension with a 3% increase. And we had the changes to our vaccination fee schedule based on the poverty level. And lastly, our annual event for our Madison County veterans will be at Delphi Falls with they'll be able to enjoy a barbecue there on July 12th. And that's it.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks.
Any questions for Mary? Okay, solid waste, Melissa?
I have just a quick update. We continue to see an increase in tonnage, particularly with construction and demolition waste. So we're keeping a close eye on landfill capacity. If current trend continues, we may need to divert some larger projects later this year. We're also moving forward earlier than planned with the landfill permit modification and continuing to prepare for upcoming DEC regulations. We have 1 resolution in front of everyone today supporting Cornell Cooperation Extension's application for a DEC Environmental Justice Community Impact Grant. The proposed project would focus on community outreach and education around food waste prevention and reduction, helping to reduce landfill volume and environmental impacts. Overall, we continue to focus on protecting the long-term capacity of our landfill while being proactive and financially responsible. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, moving on to the regular agenda.
Yep. Number 24 in your packet is dedicating the Madison County Live Fire Training Facility in memory of Samuel D. Osborne. This is Rex Vosberg, Chairman, Criminal Justice Committee, co-signed by Lauren Corbin, Chairman, Highway Buildings and Grounds Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I think this is important. I want to read this, if that's okay here in session, read this proclamation. And I believe there isn't too many county buildings actually named for people. Is that true, Mark?
That's true.
Correct.
Yeah, so I never knew this gentleman. I think you're going to come up and speak a little bit. Hopefully you will at the end. But I'll read this because it's worth reading. Dedicating the Madison County Live Fire Training Facility in memory of Samuel D. Osborne. Samuel D. Osborne, of lifelong resident of Casanova, New York, dedicated more than 47 years of service to the fire service and a resident of this county. Whereas Samuel D. Osborne served with distinction as a member of the Casanova Volunteer Fire Department, including 2 terms as fire chief, and devoted his life to protecting the lives and property of citizens of his community. And whereas throughout his career, Samuel D. Osborne became one of the most respected fire service instructors in the state of New York, serving as Madison County Deputy Fire Coordinator, the New York State Association of Fire Chiefs, hands-on training instructor, regional instructor for flashover and fire behavior programs, and instructor for the New York State Office of Fire Protection and Control, and a mentor to countless firefighters throughout Madison County and beyond. Whereas Samuel D. Osborne was a tireless advocate for firefighter safety, competency, and professionalism, dedicating countless hours to the development and delivery of live fire and fire behavior training programs that improve the preparedness and effectiveness of generations of firefighters. And whereas his commitment to excellence in the fire service training was recognized throughout numerous honors, including the Fred W. Zinger Fire Educator of the Year Award in 2022, the Madison County Fire Coordinators Meritus Service Award in 2024, and whereas Samuel D. Osborne's legacy lives on through the firefighters he trained, mentored, and inspired, and through the countless lives made safer as a result of his dedication to education, preparedness, and service. Whereas the Madison County Board of Supervisors recognized that no facility better represents the Samuel D. Osborne's passion, commitment, and the lasting impact than the county's live fire training facility, where firefighters continue to gain the knowledge and skills necessary to safely serve their communities. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Madison County Board of Supervisors hereby dedicates the Madison County Live Fire Training Facility in honor and memory of Samuel D. Osborne, and be it further resolved that said facility shall hereafter be known as the Samuel D. Osborne Memorial Live Fire Training Facility, and be it further resolved that the Board of Supervisors directs that appropriate signage and recognition be installed at the facility commemorating Samuel D. Osborne's extraordinary service, leadership, and contributions to the fire service. And be it further resolved that the Madison County Board of Supervisors extends its deepest appreciation to Samuel D. Osborne for his lifetime of dedication to the fire service and expresses his gratitude to his family for sharing him with us and the communities of Madison County for so many years. I move this resolution for adoption.
Thank you, Rex. Can I have a second? Kenville? Okay, under discussion. Doug, would you like to say something?
It would be appreciated. Yes, please. So close.
Just up here.
Yep.
Good morning. First of all, we appreciate the adoption of this resolution on behalf of Sam's family and the fire service as a whole. I'm not going to repeat all the history and all that stuff. I'll just talk about some things that people don't know about Sam. 48 years ago, as a new firefighter, I can relate to that because we started at the same time. He was bit by the bug for training, not just to train himself to the highest level he can, but to further the training of others. So I'm hoping to get through this presentation and the dedication without a lightning bolt striking me, because he would be really mad that we're doing this. Okay. But when people pass, these appreciations tend to be for the benefit of their family and the people they served. So he was the village administrator, if you will, for the DPW in Casanova for several years. Had an undying effort to train firefighters. He built training props for the training facility. He was on the original committee that designed the burn building that we put up some 10 or 11, 12 years ago now. He was instrumental in that. He never stopped learning or wanting to learn from every event. An example of that is after every fire in this county, no matter where it was, he called me on the phone first thing in the morning, sometimes in the middle of the night, and said, hey, what happened? What went right? What went wrong? What can we learn from it? All that stuff. Undying, right? His efforts to pass on his training for the progress of the fire service in this county at every age, right? The brand new person to the more senior person that maybe need to be reminded of some things was never ending in every fire department. He's the only person I know to this day that knew where every single fire hydrant was in Madison County. We'd send him to teach a class somewheres, and even the local fire department said, oh, we don't have a hydrant there. Oh, yeah, you do. You know, never ending. And he continued that service throughout the state with the State Fire Chiefs Association as an instructor for the Office of Fire Prevention Control, all those things. But the grassroots training that he did every single day, every opportunity he had to continue to learn and pass on what he learned, right? The dedication of the burn building at the training center is an effort to pass on that legacy to every new firefighter that trains there. That's why I was, and we were so committed to pull this off, is because it's that important for the future, right? The effort that he made and the effort that we need to make in the future. So I really appreciate you voting and accepting this resolution. I have invitations to the dedication, which is going to be on September 19th at 10 o'clock in the morning. That was scheduled at the convenience of his family. His mother's still alive, and his wife. So we wanted to make sure, certainly they were able to make it. You are all invited. We'll be inviting every fire department in the county, obviously, who knew him and mostly loved him. And he'll probably strike me down right after I talk at that dedication, right? You know, but he has passed on more knowledge than anyone I know of in the Central New York Fire Service, by far. Mostly in ways that no one witnessed, without any need for appreciation. In fact, when he was given the Fred Singer Award at the New York State Fire Chiefs Association annual conference in Syracuse, he didn't even show up to receive the award. He was too busy doing hands-on training at the Syracuse Fire Training Facility, right? So he wouldn't show up until after he was done training. That was the effort he made. And it was an honor for me and to know him and to work with him. So thank you for this opportunity for him.
Okay. Did I get a second?
You got a
I
second?
got a
Was
second.
all in favor?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Next, we have resolution number 25 in your packets, a resolution in support of the Madison County Cornell Cooperative Extension application proposal for the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Office of Environmental Justice Community Impact Grant for 2026. I was so close to reading through that without losing it. Melissa Daring, Chairwoman, Solid Waste Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Can I have a second? Mary? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Next, we have resolution number 26, extending an agreement with Bernie Bus Service Incorporated for transportation services. This is Mary Kavanaugh, Chairwoman, Health and Human Services Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Can I have a second? Megan? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next is number 27, the Public Health Approved Charges and Fees Schedule. This is Mary Kavanaugh, Chairwoman, Health and Human Services Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Can I have a second? Tom? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And the last resolution in your packet today, number 28, is authorizing the chairman to enter into an agreement with King & King Architects on behalf of Madison County Assigned Counsel Program. This is Rex Vosberg, Chairman, Criminal Justice Public Safety Committee.
I'd like to just say that Dave DeSantis is the king of grants, but Mr. Chairman, I move this resolution for adoption.
Can I have a second? Kyle? Dave, you want to say something? That's great. We need to put you on some grant committee now.
Grants director.
Grants director, yes. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so public comments. Anybody on the sign-up sheet like to speak? No? Any other business to come before this board? Hearing none. The redcoats are coming. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, Lauren and TJ. Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.